Let's make sure it's recording.
Okay, cool. Mic at.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey folks, Ty Cohen here, and I want to welcome you to one of our first Kindle Cashflow Live speaker training interviews. So this is going to be a pretty informative event that we're having today. If you are not familiar with what Kindle Cashflow Live is, you are in for a treat. So Kindle Cashflow Live is basically a live version of the Kindle Cashflow program where we actually take a group of people and we bring you into a live setting and we show you step by step in a workshop format the Kindle cash flow process for creating recurring passive income streams. So before we get started, what I want to do is I want to make sure that, number one, everyone hears my voice. So if you can hear my voice, give me a big yes or give me a number one into the questions box. Just put a one into the questions box. So thank you, Linda and Lad and Brenda, Chad. We've got Sharon, we've got Jazz, we've got Brian, Edwin, Ruth, Larry, Christian. All right, awesome. So a lot of people can hear my voice right now. Now, the second piece of housekeeping that I want to take care of is if you can see my screen, you should see myself and you should see our guest today, Joshua. Give me a number 2. All right, so Michelle says yes. All right, Zane, Jennifer, Brenda, Christian, Sharon. Awesome, awesome. All right, so we're ready to get started here. We've got a really packed house today. And with me on the other side, as you guys may have guessed already, is Joshua. Now, if you're in the Kindle Cashflow group, our mastermind group, you know that Joshua is just a whiz when it comes to Kindle publishing. He's someone that has done extremely well with Kindle publishing himself, and now he's also part of our coaching team. And the beautiful thing about it is, guys, every morning, almost every morning, I get a different report from Joshua and some of the other coaches that are in the group. And these reports just contain success story after success story after success story of people that are doing well in the Facebook group, in the Kindle Cashflow group. If you're a member of Kindle Cashflow, you know what I mean, right? Because you see the success stories in the group. If you've purchased a Kindle Cashflow program, you've seen these. Josh, it looks like you've got a couple of fans in here. So we've got Brenda saying, yes, go Josh. So that's pretty cool. And Lad, yes, absolutely, right? So both of them work, right? Let's see. Phyllis says, this is not working. Any suggestions? What do you have, Phyllis? What's not working for you? And Emma says, Joshua is excellent. So helpful. Thank you, Emma. So if you guys have some comments for Joshua, by all means, go ahead and post those into the questions box now. All right. I love it. Josh, you've got a couple of fans in here, and you know that's just what happens when you actually are able to provide great content and you're able to get results for people, and that comes from being able to care and not only care about yourself, but care about the results of your students and the people that you work with. So I know that you, as well as Marty, both truly care about the students and the individuals that you guys work with. So what I want to do, Josh, is I want to take a couple of minutes of your time. This is going to be pretty short, folks. This is going to be maybe about 20, 30 minutes or so. And what I want is I want you guys to get to better know and understand who your speakers at Kindle Cashflow Live will be. All right, so when you come in and you join us for the event, whether you're joining us live or virtually, you'll know who's talking and then what to expect from each session. So with that said, Josh, can you give us a quick breakdown as to who you are? Give us a little bit of your background.
Yes. So my name is Joshua, of course, Joshua Montoya. I'm 28 years old from Baltimore, Maryland. Right now, I'm currently in Raleigh, North Carolina. Have been out here for about, I guess, like 6 or 7 years now. Follow my family on down here. So this is where my dad was originally from, North Carolina. So we just ended up moseying ourselves back on down this way. And ever since I've been down here, I've been doing the self-publishing just full time. So that's what I'm doing now. I absolutely love it. I live and breathe self-publishing, as most of you know on here. Um, that's what I think of, first thing in the morning. It's what I go to sleep to for last thing at night. So yeah, that's me in a box. You still here? Can you hear me?
You guys should hear me now. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yep,
All
yep.
right. Got it. Awesome. So we've got Melanie Goodwin. Melanie Goodwin says, Josh, I'm a fan. You've been a great help to me too. So they just keep coming in. Andrea says she appreciates your answers in the group. So just lots of testament to how you've been able to help everyone that's part of a Kindle Castro program as well. Lad just started 2 weeks ago. Good to have you, Lad. Let's see. So now, what we want to do also, guys, is at the end of this, maybe we'll ask Josh a couple of questions. So if you have any questions about Kindle publishing, by all means, post them into the questions box and we'll get to as many as we possibly can within the short period of time that we have. So Josh, what made you initially get started with Kindle publishing? Like what made you look at it and say, that's the thing that I want to do right there? What was that spark?
Yeah, so it started, so my family's like background is sort of like internet marketing. Like I have folks that have done different things online, and it always intrigued me to do something online myself, and I always wanted to create income for myself. I didn't know at the time that it would be Kindle, but thinking back on it now, it's kind of cool the way it spiraled into that. So it started off, I just went down to Florida with my aunts. I was sort of interning for them, and I was writing for their blog at the time. And my aunt, she was bigging my head up like, you're a great writer, you're this and that. And funny enough, I actually, now that I think about it, I might have told you this before, Todd, but I can't remember. But I walked into her closet and I had saw your course actually, like one of the first ones, physical CDs laid out on the ground. And I just went in there, picked up the courses, went to the bedroom, put the CDs into the computer, and you were talking about how you can, take ebooks and put them into digital format and create money that way. And at that time, I wanted to create money. I didn't know too much about the book stuff, but I was willing to give it a try. My aunt telling me I'm like this bestseller, or not best-selling, but a great writer, on her blog, which really at the end of the day turned out just being her trying to get more work out of me for her blog. But
Funny how that happens.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But it turned out good because it allowed me to explore, a different side of things, which was the books, which was what you were talking about, being able to write them myself, and then also alternatively, which I do now, outsource the book. So that's what sort of gave me my initial spark to do all this, and it's just been a journey ever since then.
Okay, pretty cool. So you kind of stumbled upon it. You saw the Kindle Cashflow course. This is back when it was in a physical format in your
Mhm.
aunt's closet. Got intrigued by that, picked it up, saw the process, and said, "Okay, this is pretty interesting. This is pretty cool. Let me try to dive into it." So what's one thing that helped you to stay with it? Like what? Because what happens is like myself and like Rick and Chad and everyone else that's listening here, sometimes we end up getting shiny object syndrome, right? So sometimes we'll find things and we know that it's a system, we know that it works well, but even with that, because we're human, we don't stick to it. What made you stick to Kindle publishing as long as you've been doing it? Because you've been doing this for years now, right?
Yeah, for quite some time, since about 2012. So I would say what's been keeping me going this whole time, I would say it's maybe like comes down to this one phrase, and it's just take it one page at a time. So when I was first thinking about the book business, I was thinking, man, I have to push out like hundreds and hundreds of pages. I have to do all this stuff by myself and get behind the computer and type all this stuff up. Like, how am I ever going to do this? And I just got out of my own head and I was like, okay, well, let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on just one page at a time. I have to produce this one page and then move to the second, the third, and so on and so on. The next thing you know, I have a book. And that turned out for me, I didn't end up having to write the books myself. I outsourced everything. So it was just being able to manage my ghostwriter and, tell them the same thing, just keep it one page at a time. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about at Kindle Cashflow Live, and that is Yeah, sometimes because there's multiple moving parts, we can kind of get overwhelmed and we kind of get stuck and never start. So just where do you start and how do you get the ball rolling? And for me, it's just thinking about one thing at a time, which is very similar to your one page at a time. So it might be just first coming up with that market or that niche that you want to go after or that you want to publish content around, right? And then not looking at any of the other steps, right? So first, just thinking about what is it that I want to get started with publishing as far as what niche, what topic. And once you have that out of the way, the next step is starting to get that content created, whether you're going to write it yourself or whether you're going to outsource it, and not looking at any of the other steps after that or any of the steps that became before that. And then once you have that, then you start working on some of the other steps, like getting your graphics, your cover created, and that just one thing at a time. Because what I found is if you look at the entire process, then you quickly can become overwhelmed. It's like anything, right? It's like building, just maybe making a cake, right? With a cake, you're not going to look at everything at one time and try to throw all of your ingredients into the mixing bowl at once. It's an egg first, or maybe water, or maybe the actual cake mix, or whatever it might be. One thing at a time, but you're not taking octopus hands, right? And with 8 arms going in and trying to mix in and throw everything all at once. And when people try to do that, what happens is they end up not doing anything at all and they end up not moving forward. So that's that. So guys, remember, go in and make sure you ask questions in the questions box. We're gonna see if we can have enough time to get Josh to answer some of the questions. And then also, I want everyone to write this down. Josh, you just said something that was very, very smart there, and that is take it one page at a time. You can even change that up a little bit so that it reads take it one thing at a time or one step at a time, meaning one step, one part of a process at a time. Okay. Now, Josh, I want to ask you. So, if what would you say to anyone that is on the fence about attending? Well, let's back up a little bit, right? I want to ask you another question before we actually even get there. And here's the thing, guys. At Kindle Cashflow Live, you're going to get to not only meet myself and Josh, but you'll also get to meet all of our other speakers that we'll be introducing over the next couple of days and over the next couple of weeks. We're coming down to the final weeks of Kindle Cashflow Live. That means that if you don't have your ticket yet, you need to go in and get it today, right? In order to schedule your plane, your hotel, or your drive in, your train ride in, your bus ride in, no matter which way you're going to be transporting yourself in. The other thing is we just opened up a virtual option, right? I know that there are a lot of people who are actually located outside of the United States. We've got a lot of people that are actually flying in from like the UK and South America and Australia and places like that to join us live at Kindle Castle Live. But then there's also a lot of people who have other obligations or they don't have a means of getting in. So for those people, if that's you, you can go in and now join us virtually by going to kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. All right. So kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. All right. So there you go. So now, Josh, one more thing that I want to ask you, and that is basically what's one thing that you can share with someone who might be considering or is already publishing to Amazon? Like that one thing that if they're already on Amazon publishing or if they're about to start publishing, what's that one thing that you think will really help them? And this one thing could be a strategy, it could be a tactic, it could be just a philosophy if you want.
Sure. So I would have to say that one thing would just be consistent. I would say that was one of the biggest things that I was battling in the beginning. I had it in my mind, and a lot of us may have this in our mind, when you're first publishing, books or just any business online in general, but just be consistent and stick to just that one thing. It's easy to put something out there, and especially with books, you think you're going to put one book out there and just get rich off of it. But it doesn't work that way. You have to put one book out there and then another one and then just compound your books. And that only happens through being consistent. So I would say, when you put your first one out there, if it doesn't, return the results that you were expecting, put another one out there and then another one, and make sure that you're learning from each one that you do put out there. If you see that maybe your title needed to be better, or maybe your cover needed to be better, or maybe the description, whatever the case may be, take note of that. So that way your next launch is that much better. But at the end of it all, it would just be just keep it in your mind to be consistent, and that consistency in this business is what wins at the end of the day.
Okay, great answer there. So I've got a couple of questions that are coming in about Kindle Cashflow Live, right? And before we get to those questions, I just want to kind of piggyback on what you said. The consistency is the biggest thing I see for myself, and even when I first got started with Kindle publishing many years ago, it was for one book, right, that you first publish is it might be a home run or it might be a dud, but you publish another, and then you publish another, and then you publish another, and because of a law of averages, you now have a system that helps you to kind of leverage all of your books, and they start to generate income, some more than others, and some that will become, again, home runs, and some that may not do as well initially, right? But it's all about making sure that you continue the momentum. And one of the big things that I like to share with people is once you start to generate revenue, don't just take that money and just spend it, right? You take some of your profits out of it and you reinvest it back into your business, and you continue to do that, and that gives you a major advantage over anyone else that's publishing, right? Because now you have the system, and I'm going to talk about this at Kindle Cashflow Live, where we'll talk about building out your system, building out your team, building out your entire publishing house, right? So that you have multiple books and multiple pieces of content that you're actually publishing. So some of the questions that are coming in, let's see, let me go back up here. There's a ton of them that are actually coming in here. We have, so Paul says, Paul Thompson, I'm attending Kindle Cashflow Live in person with all arrangements made. Do I need to do anything prior to this event? No, Paul, if you've already purchased your ticket or your tickets, you're good to go. All right, we'll have registration. Registration will start pretty early Saturday morning before the live event. You'll come down, you'll get your swag bag. We've got some pretty cool gifts, some Kindle Cashflow related gifts for you guys. I think you'll like this. And then you'll be ushered into the seminar room, and then we'll start rocking and rolling, right? We're gonna have a lot of breakout workshop type settings, and this will be a total hands-on event. So we're walking you through what you should do, when you should do it, and the results that you get when you do it. It's going to be an event unlike anything ever, right? Because we teach in a workshop setting, and that means not only are we teaching from the stage, but then we come off of a stage and then we intermingle with the crowd and we show you what to do. So there's a lot of hand holding, there's a lot of hands-on teaching here as well. So if you have not gotten your tickets, use one of the URLs that you see on your screen right now to make sure that you go in and you get one. Now, the next question that we have is, I want to do the program, but I'm unable to travel and unable to do it on December 7th and 8th. This is from Linda Polier. So here's the thing, Linda, you can actually go in and you can purchase your virtual access ticket. So your virtual access ticket will give you two things. It will give you access to the Kindle Cashflow Live event as it's taking place. So you'll be able to see on screen as we're at the event live, but you'll also get the recordings. Okay, so you also get the recording. So if you're not able to watch it live on those dates, then no worries. You can go in, you can watch the recordings at your leisure whenever you wish to, okay? All right, so I hope that answers your question, Linda. Let me know if it has. Let's see, what else do you have? So Mark says, Ty, will there be another Kindle Cashflow Live event in the near future? I'm traveling and cannot attend live or virtual at this time. Well, Mark, if you're traveling and the virtual or the live doesn't work for you, I would definitely go in and get the virtual like a lot of people are doing right now. Because again, as I just mentioned to Linda, you can watch them at any time. And the beautiful thing about having access to the virtual version is you can go in, you can watch the recordings over and over and over again. So let's say we're teaching something and you want clarity on it, or you just want to go in and see it again. You can always go back and do that when you have the recordings, okay? All right, let's see, what else do we have here? I just got the top 100 most profitable genres today. This is from Lad. Lad, awesome. That's one of the bonuses that we just gave out. And that's the top 100 most profitable genres, right? So if you're part of a Kindle Cashflow Master Pass, Fast Pass group, then you'll probably notice that VAT bonuses now in your members area. So Lad, thank you for mentioning that, and I'm glad to see that you've gotten access to it. Make sure that you go through that. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. All right, so let's see what else is there. What else is there? Let's see. All right, so Paul says, I joined online about a month ago. Can't wait to join you guys at Kindle Cashflow Live. Lad says, how's the mastermind dinner going to be set up? So guys, what you're going to notice is if you're joining us live, if you take this first option that you see at the top and you're actually going to be present at the event, you're going to get a chance to join myself, my son Tyler. You're going to get a chance to join Marty and Josh and all of our other speakers for a special mastermind dinner that Friday night, where we're going to be sharing some insider secrets. We're going to be talking about some of our better strategies as it relates to Kindle publishing, and that's a actual upsell. So once you go in and you place your order for the Kindle Cashflow Live ticket, you'll see the option to go in and also add on that mastermind dinner for Friday night as well. All right, so Lad, I think you are part of that mastermind, right? So I can't wait to meet you. Good to know that you'll be there. All right. All right, so let's see, what else do we have? So moving forward here, one of my final questions for you here, Josh, before we get into some of the questions that are being posted here in the chat box is, what would you say to anyone that's on the fence about attending Kindle Cashflow Live?
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest things is get off of the fence. As far as the live event goes, it's like way different of an experience than, going through the course. Of course, you're going to get a lot of the same information like from the course that you will at the live event, but us being there live is way different. Us being hands-on, being able to work with you, actually look at the computer screen with you, actually look over your shoulder. We like to have a lot of fun. As you all can tell, we like to have a lot of fun on these webinars, but in person, we have a lot of jokes, a lot of teaching that will come out of us as we are on stage and going through things, just on the spot stuff that just comes up, maybe things that we aren't thinking of at that moment. But it's a lot of fun. The live events are really cool. You get to take a lot of pictures with us and get to meet us in person. So come out, come say hi, come shake our hands. Let's have a good time with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like a live event there, right? Just to meet the people that you're learning from, and more importantly, just to build up relationships. I think that one of the most important things as it relates to attending a live event is the networking. You start to build up friendships and relationships that last for years and years and years and years to come. I started to see true growth when I started to get out of my comfort zone and move from beyond the computer to going to a live event. And even if that required me flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, or me flying from the United States to the UK, right? That was one of the huge paradigm shifts for me. All right. So if you're on the fence about attending Kindle Cashflow Live, you now have two options. Number one, you can join us live in person by going to kindlecashflow.com/live, or you can go in and get the virtual access by going to kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. So, Josh, my final question for you is, what's one thing that you'll be sharing at Kindle Cashflow Live?
Yeah, so the one thing that I'll be sharing is author networking. And what I mean by that is basically expanding your network as an author. So we believe that one of the biggest contributors to your success as an author in this business will be networking with other people that will be able to introduce you to other authors, maybe get you into group promotions and give you access to things that you wouldn't have otherwise had access to unless you had asked the question. So definitely look forward to that.
All right, awesome. Great, great. All right, so here, let's answer a couple of questions here from the audience here. And guys, if you have not typed in your questions yet, please go into the questions box and post them right now. We're going to take about 5 minutes, and then that'll give us a complete 30-minute session here. So we'll take about 5 minutes to ask Josh a couple of questions. So go ahead and post them into the questions box. And if you have not gotten your tickets to Kindle Cashflow Live, go ahead and use one of the links that you see on your screen right now to do so before we close out. There's some really cool bonuses that you're going to get when you go in and you join us, either live or virtually. You're going to get the bonuses either way, and you definitely want to make sure that you get these before we close out. All right. So let's see, what questions do we have here? How do you build up more of an email list besides using book funnels? All right. How do you build up more of an email list besides using book funnels? There's a few different ways that you can do that. And Josh, I'll let you jump in there before I go in. What's one of the methods that you use to actually build up an email list besides book funnel?
Yeah, so two off the bat, what I would have to say is what we're going to cover at the live event. So definitely come for this session because it's going to be juicy. But being able to reach out to other authors, leveraging their email lists, and then the other method would be Facebook advertisements. So running advertisements that are purpose to build up subscribers to your email list.
There you go. All right, so advertising is definitely one. There's a lot of things that you guys can do there. So you can run Facebook ads. You can actually go into Facebook groups that are related too, right? And start sharing content in that way. Not where it's really spammy, but just doing it in a really tasteful way. That's something that my daughter does very well with not only Kindle publishing, but also physical products as well. You can also go in and start to purchase like email swaps and newsletters, advertising space, right? So those work very well as well. And then there's something else that you can do, right? And that is once you start to get sales of your book and you're looking to continue those sales and to continue to build up your email list, you can actually go in and purchase advertising space and print newspapers. So you'll see that there's free weekly newspapers like the Creative Loafing that's out in Atlanta, and some of these are very low cost. It's like 10 cents a word, but that can be your reader based oftentimes, depending on what genre you're publishing to. Sometimes you'll find that your readers will often pick up those free weekly newsletters and those newspapers, and bam, that's another way of building up that email list there. So let's see, what else do we have as far as questions coming in here? Andrea says, should the plot of my book be roughly based on the book I want to model?
Yes, so the plot should be based on the book that you want to model. So the idea that we try to get across is that you should be modeling just about everything that you see in the marketplace, and we don't want that word, of course, to get confused with plagiarizing the content because you're not going to produce like an exact copy of the book, but you want to maintain that experience that that other author gave them. So if their plot gave them a certain thrill or a certain feel of excitement or suspense, then your book should be conveying that same thing.
All right, awesome, awesome. And one last question. Cassandra says, how long did it take for you to be able to live on the royalties that you make every month?
Sure. So we tell everyone, it took us like 3 to 4 months because that's literally like when we really took off in like that amount of time. But I would have to say, like in learning, of course, and things like that, I would have to say a good year of doing this and taking off. But that was with not knowing exactly like what we were doing or exactly where we were going with all this. So it would be a lot shorter for you all because the way that we're teaching you is, the shortcuts of doing all this stuff. The way that we speak to you is in a way that will get you there much faster than you just trying to figure it out. So for you all, relatively quick, but for us, about a year.
All right. Okay, awesome. All right, so guys, if you don't have your tickets to Kindle Cashflow Live yet, you have two options. The first is you can go to kindlecashflow.com/live and join myself, Marty, Josh. We've got Greg Caesar who's speaking. We've got Onyx Engel. We've got my son Tyler. And we've got many more speakers that will be joining us. You can go in and get your tickets by visiting kindlecashflow.com/live. Or if you don't have the ability to travel, or if you're already committed to those dates, or if you simply like to just sit at home and watch us from your screen, you can go to kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. And here's some of the cool bonuses amongst other bonuses that you're going to get. You're going to get bonus number one, which is the 25 hottest niches to actually publish content to on Amazon, right? So this is just as the name implies. It's a list of the 25 hot niches that are really hot, and really that's kind of redundant right there, right? The 25 hot niches that are really hot. But these are niches that are so hot that I have to say the word hot multiple times. This is literally a gold mine here. The other thing is you're going to get a fast action takers bonus, right? Which would be you're going to get an extra $200 hotel voucher. That gives you $200 off of your hotel. Again, you can go to kindlecashflow.com/live or kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. The other bonus that you're going to get is you're going to get the Kindle Cashflow Factory Blueprint. And this is where we show you how to basically create a factory where you're publishing Kindle Cashflow type books day in and day out, right? So you've got this factory that's just cranking out great content, that's just helping you to create multiple streams of income, recurring income. And this is what I like to call a Henry Ford model, right? This is how Henry Ford kind of changed the auto industry, right? Because before, when cars were first being built, they were built one at a time. And now with this assembly line model, he's able to crank them out faster and faster and faster than his competition, right? Which gives him the heads up. So this will do the same for you as well. The third bonus is going to be our done for you book funnel. So now this is a funnel that helps to sell your book 24/7, generating you income as long as the traffic is coming in 24/7, 365. This is a $1,997 value. So everyone that goes in and purchases your ticket to Kindle Cashflow Live or the virtual ticket today will get all of these bonuses as well as all of the other bonuses that you see on the website. So when you go in and you visit our site, you're going to see some pretty cool stuff here. And I'm going to actually go over to the site really quickly here. So here's the first option that you have. You have this option of joining us live, right? And this is the page that you'll see when you go in and you join us live. And then you also have the option of getting the virtual access. No hotels, no flights to deal with, but you still get to enjoy the Kindle Cashflow Live experience from the comfort of your own home or your office or wherever you are, right? Because you'll be able to watch this on any desktop, laptop, or mobile device. So make sure that you go in right now and you purchase your tickets. And here's what I want to do. I want to take a quick poll really quickly. I know we've got a lot of people that are on here right now that have already gotten their tickets. Who now is going in to buy their ticket directly today? So who's going in to buy their ticket right now? Because I've got an extra special bonus that I want to give you guys, all right? And this is going to be a bonus training that's going to take place this Sunday, all right? So for everyone that goes in and you get your ticket, or if you already have your ticket, but for everyone that goes in and they get their ticket right now, right, before we close out, whether you get the live ticket or the virtual ticket, you're going to have access to a special bonus training with me this Sunday. And on this training, I'm going to teach you how to build out your team, how to build out your team of content creators, so your writers, your graphic designers, your cover creators, right? Or your proofreaders, your editors, and your entire team that you're going to use in your factory that will be working on your assembly line to help you crank out Kindle books and thus helping you to create multiple streams of passive recurring income. All right, so what I want you to do is go in and post your name in. So we've got Eve, we've got Lad, we've got Yvonne, we've got Ashley. So a ton of people who are actually going in and getting their tickets right now. So post your name in so I know who gets access to the bonus webinar training and the recording of that. So if you can't make it live this Sunday, it's going to be about 7 o'clock Eastern time or maybe 8. We'll have a date later on this week. If you can't make it live, then we'll make sure that you get the recording. So I want you to go in and post your name right now so we know who to email access and the recordings to. So go in. So the live event, Eve, you'll find all the pricing and all the information that you need by going to kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. Josh, do you mind putting that URL, both of those URLs, into the questions box, please? All right. And Eve, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go in and click on that link there. All right. So you'll see the link in just a minute. And guys, the link is directly on your screen. Can everyone see the links on your screen? So kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual.
Put it in there now.
Okay. Awesome. All right. All right. So go ahead, and once you actually have purchased your ticket already, whether it's the live event ticket or the virtual event ticket, make sure you post your name into the questions box so that we know who gets the bonus this coming Sunday. And then there's going to be another bonus training Sunday after next as well. All right. I can't reveal yet what that topic is going to be, but you are going to love it. All right. So you want to make sure that you get access to these bonus trainings. This is the stuff here. Once I actually started to implement like the actual factory process of publishing Kindle books, I went from making like a couple of $1,000, like 2,000, 3,000 a month, to 10,000 and more a month, because now you leverage the skills and the time and the smarts of other people that are working in your factory. So I hope that makes sense. So we've got Barbara that's in, we've got Usam that's in, we've got Bob who says I signed up for virtual, we've got Leonard that's in. All right, we've got Usam, we've got Eve, we've got Lad, we've got Jazz, we've got Cheryl. We've got a ton of people. We've got Edwin. We've got a ton of people that are signing up right now. So if you don't have your ticket, go in and be sure to sign up right now. And last but not least, I want you to go in and make a note of both of the URLs. We would love to see you live, but obviously we know that not everyone can join us live. So if that's you, then we'd love to have you join us virtually. All right, so go ahead, take a screenshot right now of this slide that you see on your screen before we close out. All right, Lad, if you have your ticket already, then you'll receive a notification. You'll receive a notification within the next couple of days. That notification will show you how you can actually join us for the bonus training on Sunday. All right, so Maria says I'm in, Tanya is in. All right, so more people coming in. All right, guys, we're going to close it out. Does everyone have the links before we close out? Does everyone have the links? kindlecashflow.com/live, or for the virtual event, kindlecashflow.com/live-virtual. Maria says she can't see the link. So Maria, you should actually be able to go in and click onto it. I'm going to share it with you, Maria, really quickly here so that you have it. And Maria, are you watching from a desktop or a laptop or a mobile device? All right, Maria, I just posted both of the links for you there, and you should be able to get access now. All right, mobile. And Edwin, no, the third session is not on November 17th at 8 p.m. That's a placeholder date. All right, so right now you just have this session, and then you have the next session with our next speaker. All right. Judith, yes, you will have recordings of live. All right. Great question, Judith. Thank you. Absolutely. So if you attend live, you will get access to the recordings. Yes. All right. All right. So there we go, folks. I hope everyone has had a good time with joining me and one of our first speakers. We've got Josh here. Josh is a bright guy here. And as you can tell, just by the feedback that's been coming in, Josh has helped a lot of people, and a lot of people are getting amazing results with the stuff that he teaches. And we'd like to have you be one of those individuals. Okay. All right. If you attend virtually, will you get the recordings? Yes, Judith, you will. So you'll get the recordings both if you attend virtually or if you attend live. Yes, you will. All right. Let's see. Usman says, I tried signing up to the virtual live, but when I log in using my existing Learn credentials, it says there's a problem and I'm redirected to a Learn login page. Usman, two things that you can do. You can do a password reset, or you can just sign up with a totally new account. Just sign up all over again. All right. Eve, the pricing for the virtual is $497. The pricing for the live event is $697. All right. All right, Brenda, Lad, Usman, you guys are great. Have a good day, good night, good morning, and we'll see you at Kindle Cashflow Live. Thank you, Marty, for joining us. I know that your time is super valuable. And thank you for dropping a couple of jewels on us. This was really, really fun. All right. Another question that just came in, if I purchase my ticket after this webinar right now, will I still get all of the bonuses as well as the bonus webinar Sunday? Yes, you will. All right. So if you purchase within the next 24 hours, you're going to get all of the bonuses as well as the bonus training that we will be doing Sunday. But you want to make sure that you get your order in as soon as possible so that we can send you access to that bonus training. All right. All right, guys, I'll leave the screen up for a few more minutes so that you guys can actually go in and visit the URLs. Bernadine says, I purchased my ticket when they were first available, but I have not gotten them. Bernadine, did you receive a confirmation email? Take a look and see if you received a confirmation email. If not, you can send an email to support@learn.com. So support@LURN.com. All right. Awesome. All right, guys, we will see you on the next training. Have a good day, good night, good morning.